Λοιπόν, είμαστε εδώ με τον Πάτερ Μάνικας ή Μανίκας ελληνικά, ο οποίος he's served here the longest, am I correct?
Μάλιστα. 26 χρόνια.
26 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you are very well admired and respected by the parishioners. So, briefly, the Manikas family, where are they from?
The Manikas family, of course, is from Greece.
Yes.
And to zero in exactly the region, it's called Thessalia, the state of Thessalia. My father was from what they call a small city, Komopolis, called Mozaiki. And not far away up a mountain is where my mother was from, a little village called Porti, not too far. They were born, and the first few years they lived rather close to each other, but they never met until they both came to Manchester, New Hampshire. They came there as youngsters. Their families were poor in Greece, and so as so many immigrants came here to find a better life, and they came as youngsters. And they met in Manchester, New Hampshire, and eventually they married.
And that's where you were born?
That's where I was born.
And then from there you went?
From Manchester, I went to the local schools, of course, the grammar school, the high school. After high school, I had always wanted to be a priest from a youngster.
Was there anybody else in your family that was?
Well, like I learned, I had family priests, uncles in Greece. And I had gone not too many years ago to the town of Mozaiki, and I found remembrances of Father Nicholas Manikas, the priest of Mozaiki.
Unbelievable.
Same name. And my mother always told me about him, so that was always in my mind. And so from the 6th grade, I made my decision to be a priest.
So, where did you get your degree? Here at?
Okay, I was blessed in that we had a theological seminary not far away.
Yes.
So from Manchester, in the summer of 1950, I came to Brookline, and I enrolled in the seminary there in August.
Yes.
In a class with some other wonderful young men, and we were supposed to study 5 years. That was the program at the time. But eventually, because there was a need for accreditation and the privilege of conferring degrees, and so my class was the first class to go 6 years. So instead of graduating in 1955, I graduated in 1956.
And from there you were assigned to?
There, yeah. In our senior year, 5 of us as seminarians were allowed to go ahead with marriage plans and to be ordained. So in our senior year, 5 of us were priests. And for several months we were going from place to place. And if I may, am I allowed to say something that's humorous?
Absolutely.
Okay. As a young priest, my first Christmas was in Burlington, Vermont.
Yes.
So my young wife, the 2 of us aged 23, priest and presbytera, were sent to Burlington and Rutland to do Christmas.
Yes.
Now, at the time, 1955, I could not afford a proper car, so whatever I had did not have much of a heater. So on our trip to Burlington, I came down with a terrible cold.
Oh boy.
So now it's Christmas Eve. They're expecting me to go and do Christmas Eve services in the Burlington church. I'm sick with a high fever in a Greek-owned motel. So they called the doctor who was on call.
Yes.
It's Christmas Eve now, small city. The doctor on call came, and God bless him, God rest his soul, whatever is proper at the time, not this time. And he took care of me, gave me a nice shot of whatever antibiotic. And indeed, God worked his miracle. I got well enough to go a few hours later and do the whole service in Burlington, and then the next morning in Rutland. And if I may say that the one doctor on call, he was, what do you think? A gynecologist.
Well, you were saved by a gynecologist.
Yes,
okay.
Indeed. I'm forever grateful.
Yes, that's wonderful.
After that, In January, I was still a student. I hadn't graduated yet. They needed a priest in Marlborough, so they assigned me to St. Zenargery in Marlborough, where
Yes.
I remained for 6.5 years.
And then, at what point did you connect with St. Demetrius?
Well, it was not immediately.
Yeah.
After 6.5 years, they sent us, my wife Effie, and myself, and we had two children by that time. They sent us to Canton, Ohio, St. Charalambos.
St. Carlos, okay.
St. Charalambos, Oli Peloponnesi.
Got it.
Ίσως ήταν και ένας Θεσσαλός, I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, I think I did have a couple. So we had another 13 beautiful years at a lovely parish of St. Charalambos that Mr.
Is that
Barascos-
church still there?
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's thriving.
Wonderful.
The building itself is historic in that in 1955, I think it
Yeah.
was, that whole building, which was a huge cathedral type church,
Yes.
as big, it looked even larger than our Boston Cathedral. All brick, domes, they cut it in half, and Mr. Barascos, they moved that church. Half of it at a time to a new location, a better location in the city of Canton, Ohio. And I came right after that. After the move is when I arrived, and I had 13 beautiful years.
And then?
Okay, then in 1975, I was thinking that it might be a good idea, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about California, going west, young man, whatever.
Right.
So I said, well, gee, I think I'm going to apply for a parish in California. And indeed, I started getting information and requests to be interviewed in California. But in the meantime, my oldest daughter, Joanna, was on vacation from Ohio back to Manchester, New Hampshire, our hometown. And she heard, how she heard is still a mystery.
Yes.
She heard that there was a church called St. Demetrius in Weston,
Brand new.
looking for a
Yes.
priest. And she said, please, Dad, well, I don't want to go to California. I want to go back to my people, to our relatives in Manchester, close
Yes.
to Manchester. Thereupon, I then applied to the Archdiocese, and exactly they assigned me here.
Well, what year was that?
That was 1975,
75. And you stayed until
2001.
2001. Now, I've been talking to several old parishioners, and especially the first parish council president, Mr. Gavris.
Okay, indeed.
So, all of whom speak very highly of you.
Thank you.
They said that the priests that we've had have been outstanding, progressive, and got along with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked him, what were some of the issues that you face as a council president?
Uh-huh.
I thought he'd say money or whatever. No. He said the then Archbishop Iagos was looking to new parishes to create a new kind of Greek Orthodox Church in America that was more American than the original immigrant church. How did you find it? What did you think of the mission of the new parish, which was at that time, it was 16 years old, this one?
Oh, this one, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, what did you think were the issues that you faced?
To be truthful, I served, as we mentioned earlier, I served in Marlborough, Canton, Ohio, and third parish, St. Demetrius. At St. Demetrius, which with humility and yet with pride, I can say is a very special parish. Okay? It is a parish where people are attracted from all walks of life. We have at St. Demetrius from the very beginning professors from Harvard,
Yes.
from MIT, and we also have pizzeria owners in Framingham. It's a parish that eventually encompassed 50 towns. There are people in this church even today who come here from 50 different little towns all over. Why? They like to come to St.
Yes.
Demetrius. And from the very beginning, St. Demetrius was a Greek Orthodox church, however, making everyone welcome here. And the younger generations using as much English as we could.
Yes.
In those earlier years, less.
Right.
Nowadays, more.
Right.
And I think that that was a good thing. I think that's what Archbishop Jacobus would have wanted and did want.
Yes.
And I think that's what explains the success of this parish and so many other parishes. Greek Orthodox, we had our culture, we had our language, but we also looked out to the rest of the world.
That's
And
right.
the doors of St. Demetrius were always open. Whether you were Greek Orthodox, or whether you were Albanian, whether you were Russian,
Yes.
whether you were a convert, always welcome. I think it worked. Now, Mr. Baraskos, for 26 years that I was a priest here, I never had a problem.
Wonderful.
I don't know, I'm saying that in all humility. I sat with boards where the presidents were, like I said before, CEOs of big companies, or professors, or medical doctors. We sat like brothers.
That's wonderful. And now, as you see the parish growing, what advice do you have for the newcomers, for the future, for the families that are joining now for the next 20 years?
Well, let me say this, that I've been gone now since 2001, which is about 18 years.
Yes.
The parish has continued to grow,
Yes.
continued to expand, physically, as we see.
Yes.
Our church at that we had at that time had to be replaced, and it was replaced, and with a beautiful Byzantine church.
Beautiful.
It has everything you can think of, and it's the people under the leadership of the pastor, Father Kormidas, and the various boards that have accomplished that. The main thing is unity, love, understanding, supporting each other. Let's not, we don't need the old Kavagagas. Just stay together as one family. So St. Demetrius, as I said, it encompasses so many different people, and yet it's one family.
Well, that is good to know. Thank you for your time, and good luck.
Oh, thank
in the
you.
future. And it's a pleasure to still
Well,
see you coming here after all these years.
I always enjoy talking with you, and I thank you for your many services to our seminary especially, and all that you're doing now.
I'm glad to help.
God bless you and your family.